So everyone has been waiting for this video. Everybody knows what this video is, but do you know who this guy is? And why does he have hair? I don't know why he has hair. Mr. Mark Ishii, I was very grateful to see you in person at Daivangasai. Why does he have hair? What? Not why does he have hair? Like, I fought so many Chronojet icon players at Daivangasai and I asked all of them, oh, do you know he has hair? It's like, why does he have hair? I don't know. And I'm gonna make sure for the first 30 seconds of this video I talk about his hair. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. Today we are back to talk about my favorite deck in Legendary DuelZ, the man, the myth, the what the fuck is the Dragoon. This is Chronojet Dragon Chronojet Dragon icon. This is the Chrono icon. So they just redid an entire Stride Deckset again because, you know, why not? Honestly, why not? Let's just do everything again. But you know what? I'm really happy for this redo because like the arts are so good. This set, like Ozempic Chrono Dren, Armpit Mazer Gear, me after the toilet, hair. We have reached peak. And the best part of it all is that for the last 4 years I've been assaulted by a notorious group of terrorists known as, you know, Chronojet players, and he keep telling me Balif is a 4-off. Now he is. So honestly, I think this is one of the best things to come out of 2026 Vanguard as a whole. And this deck is one of the 2 decks that you can build out of the set for Legendary DuelZ. So we're gonna answer the big question. The very big question is this set worth it? And the answer is yes. If you like hair. If you don't like this deck, generally there is no real need to actually buy into this set because, you know, you're wasting money if you want to buy a set that you don't need the deck for. But the thing about Chronojet is that Chronojet is poised in a very weird position in time right now, no pun intended, wherein he was never bad for like the last few sets, but he wasn't good either. He was just there. And then they released where's this guy? One second, give me 1 second, I'm so sorry. They released Parrot, right? And then, you know, some things happened, but then again, the deck just stagnated after that. So, because I like to talk about stagnating decks becoming hair decks, today we have Mr. M Crafter 3000. Welcome back! Yay! How was your trip to Tokyo?
Why did this deck go from tier 3 to tier 5 with new support? Please explain.
So the fun thing about Chronojet is that there is no more Crest.
Yeah, the Crest is gone.
There is no more Crest. We have all of you premium players say you hated the Crest, right? Well, we gave it back to you. This deck, the premise of this deck is that it is Crestless no more. And because it is Crestless no more, every one of your old support that stated the Crest is now worth $0.
You know what? Which one of them was Steam Scara GG?
Yeah,
one of the strongest cards in the entire deck.
We threw everything out because all of you hated the Crest so much. Bushido heard it and took it away from you. So because we have lost the Crest, rest in what, pepperoni, now we're just gonna have to redo the whole deck from scratch. Right, Mr. Growin? Right, Mr. Growin? Friend of the channel, Mr. Growin. So yeah, so let's talk about it. We have to go through everything again. Yes. So this video will be very long, timestamps, everything. I'm not even gonna link the original Chronojet in the description because there's no point. You learn nothing from that video. Yeah. It's so sad. You don't even learn shit from the original. Yeah. Okay. Alright, let's stop laughing. Let's get into the deck.
So, grade 0 for right line is Ozempic Chrono Dren, which is the Chronojet with the Chrono icon. And he'll be very important. So, unfortunately, you cannot run any other version of Chrono Dren. So, you can't run the one from the Stride Deckset because Mazer Gear Dragon, which is the Chrono icon version of Mazer Gear Dragon, states that when this card rides on top of a Chrono Dren with the Chrono icon, you draw 2 and you choose 1 card from your hand and put it to the bottom without showing your opponent. So essentially, they gave you the Crest generator, which what the previous Mazer Gear said, draw 1 and make the Crest. And then if you go second, that means you draw 2 and then you make the Crest. So now they just let you draw 2 no matter what, but you have to put back 1 card, which
is fine.
You can put back your over trigger, you can put back whatever card, you don't need to show your opponent. So
I think the best part is that having an early game mulligan like one of the Goblin cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that Chronojet is a deck that needs a lot of cards back in the deck in the first place. So I don't think you actually lose out. The fact that we are still on Parrot, like, come on, like, that's a sign.
Mazer Gear is tied really to why we are playing Parrot is that in the drop zone, when act ability, when your Vanguard is a Chrono icon, grade 3 or greater Chrono icon, and your opponent is grade 3, you may bind it. You return this card back to your right deck if it originated from the right deck to choose one of your red guards and boat to the bottom, and then you choose a card with grade +1 of the card that you just put to the bottom and call it to regular circle, and that called unique gains 5. So essentially, it is just Fate Rider. Like it's actually just Fate Rider, but on a grade on Mesa Gear. So that's the reason why we are running Parrot, because Parrot still gives us synergy with the pseudo time leap.
Time leap
don't want to do anymore.
Now it's called time jump.
Now you can just do the EV3 skill. It's just that this is the one main way that we can proc the EV3 skill, because none of the other strides do that anymore besides the old strides that we can't really use much anymore. So that's why Mesa Gear is still really go to the source, and you know he is really very strong. But obviously you only can run one because you know his states he has to be from the right deck.
Well, I mean you could play more and just not use it.
Yeah, you play V Smoke Gear.
Smoke Gear is crazy.
I'm just kidding. This is the new Smoke Gear, which is essentially just the same as the Stride Deckset Smoke Gear, but except that now he's opened up a lot more, which is that when he's ridden on top of by a Chronojet. So I'm pretty sure this doesn't need you to have the Chrono icon.
You want me to take a look?
No, it does. You have to ride him on top of him with a Chronojet with the Chrono icon, and you may so +1 to search your deck for any grade 3 added to your hand. So this no longer has the restriction that it has to be a grade 3 unit, it just needs to be a grade 3, which includes your Regulus piece, and it also includes it basically just includes Regulus piece. So you can play Shroud in Shadow, you can play Ball, you can play 4 Below, you can play Primal Heartblaze. Any of those orders count. Yeah, you can play Ladder, yeah. So they all basically count, and they're all really strong. It just depends which version of the deck you want to play. You can play a Mars here, sure, you can play a Mars. No. Yeah, so you don't have to be tunnel vision into running a grade 3 Regulus, but just know that Smoke Gear can search it out, which can bail you out of some really nasty situations.
Like Shivanui, you can now search Ladder and infinitely ensure he's dead.
If you want to play Smoke Gear for any reason in the main deck, he does have a main deck ability, which is that GB1.
If you have a Vanguard with the Chrono icon, he gets 5,000 power and 5k shield. Not worth it. Yeah. But it's funny.
And then of course we have
Chronojet Dragon
hair, which is the Chrono icon version of Chronojet. So his first ability states that you cannot write this card if your Crest zone has a Crest other than the energy generator, which includes the Stride Deckset Crest.
Now, I know we've been joking about this a lot, but you should bear in mind, Chronojet Dragon, his name is still Chronojet Dragon, which means that realistically all of the old cards I mentioned, Chronojet Dragon, still apply. But because he says that you can't ride him if you have another card that's not a generator, which is obviously this thing, you are exclusively barred out from each other. The way it works is that, you know, if you have this in the deck, you generate it, right? Then you want to ride this guy, you just don't ride. So yeah, enjoy losing. So realistically, if you play this in the right deck, you are saying goodbye and good night to like Crest. Any form of Crest at all. So like, you know, if you were a huge premium guy who says, I hate the Crest, this is the best deck for you to play. This validates your political belief 101%. But like, if you are a huge Crest fan, if Crest was your entire identity, if you carry the Crest in your wallet when you walked around, this is the worst day of your life. Change game, play Yu-Gi-Oh! Seriously, because like, you know, this is a nightmare for you.
Yeah.
But you know what isn't a nightmare? The skills. And I'm very excited to tell you that for his first skill is that you can stride and you can have a G-Zone. Yeah, that's a skill. Also, when you stride, your front row units get...
No, it's continuous. And then if you have one or more face-up unit on your Vanguard circle, between your Vanguard circle or your G-Zone,
get 5.
then, so 5 against 5.
If you have 3 or more, they get 10 instead of 5.
They get 10. So only when he is on the Vanguard circle, so only when Chronojet is on the Vanguard circle, do you actually get the pseudo Crest power.
Which is this last time, right? So the idea is that if you're not on a Stride, you don't get the Crest power. But if you're on him, he mimics the Crest power.
Essentially, yeah.
Which is interesting because he also doesn't scale. It says 5 or 10. It doesn't say 5 for every, right?
Yeah.
So that means the only real way you can kind of force yourself back to Jet is...
No, I mean, there are other ways, but essentially it's just so that when you don't stride or when you are on Chronojet, you get Crest power in a sense, and you actually do something because once again he doesn't have the persona icon.
Where is it?
Balance. If he can stride, he can't persona. Yeah?
Well, I mean, it's fair. Do you want him creating persona shield tickets?
Anyways, so when he's ridden on top, his strike
Stridden.
when his strike skill, his strike skill activates that you can choose one. You must choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it to the bottom. But if you cannot choose, either because the rear guard has resist or
you don't have any more,
you draw one.
Free draw.
Yeah.
Who are the monkeys who told me a free draw is bad? I love to talk to you. Free draw, free snipe or free draw. You tell a Blade Master player they get free snipe, free draw, they will hug you, bro.
Yeah. And his final skill, obviously, because this is the original Chronojet, is that when he attacks, Generation Break 2,
yeah.
GB2, as always, he gains plus 5k, and if you have a Chronojet Dragon in the bind zone,
in the bind zone,
so so the first effect is that GB2, if you have a Chronojet Dragon in your bind zone, he gains 5k.
Yes.
Then full stop. If your opponent is
Yes.
no, there's no great restriction. So you just full stop. This when this your opponent for this battle, your opponent cannot block with a grade 1 or higher unit from their hand.
Yes.
So it's essentially the exact same as the original Chronojet, as well as the one from the Stride Deckset, which is the same one from 2014.
Yeah. So all the same.
So just note the full stop. So
there is a full stop.
You do not need to have a Chronojet in the bind zone to get the guard restrict, but the plus 5k is tied to having a Chronojet in the bind zone.
So as long as you hit GB2, you just get a guard restrict.
Yes.
Right? That's what he's saying, because it's a full stop. It's not an or then.
Yeah. So
it's just a full stop.
Yeah, it says right here. Full stop.
Full stop.
Full stop right here. Full stop.
Vanguard players learn punctuation. Impossible challenge.
Yeah. So that is the right line. The right line is generally the most impactful part of the new upgrade.
Isn't that what the Nirvana player told me the other day?
And I just want you to note, nothing in this deck actually needs you to run another copy of this specific Chrono Icon Chronojet in this deck. You can
play the original.
There will be cards that need you to run to bind or use Chronojet as cost, but not specifically this guy. They just need you to have a Chronojet as cost. So just note, if you're on a budget, you just need to buy one of him. Unless your locals have a lot of Blandy Mire, then obviously you have to run the other guy. Because in case you haven't noticed, you don't have a Crest anymore, which is so if your guy gets his skill deleted, you can't strike.
You lose the game. If you lose the duel, you lose your soul.
There's a strike. I guess you can do the main deck first, because I think the strike should be very self-explanatory. The main deck is also very self-explanatory because a lot of it is from the old Chronojet video, as well as like any strike deckset that you've seen before.
Chronojet in the right deck.
So for grade 3s, we have one Chronojet in the right deck, and then three any named Chronojet. So any version of Chronojet. So either you can play the old one, or you can play the one from the Chrono Icon.
Well, we should also mention that while you can save money right now by buying just one Icon Jet, it is a good idea down the line for you to buy more, because like if they make a searcher that searches specifically Chrono Icon cards, you're gonna want your Jet 207 Icon. But like if you don't have that kind of money, like if you don't have the extra 800 yen, you can just.
And then for the old cards, we have 4 copies of Nostalgia. Do you
love
Do you love grade 3 right up
B? Right up B.
And then we play one copy of Evergreen Transfer. Like we said, because it's a grade 3 regardless, you can just search it with Smoke Gear.
Now friends of the Ultimate Circuit and Mr. Miltai will tell you that this is a PG. It's not, but it is a grade 3 regardless, so you can search it.
Yeah. And also it's a Soul Blast cost.
It's a Soul Blast cost.
Which comes up against Blandy Mire.
Yes.
I'll just say that.
Yes. So really niche use application. I talked about this in my Ichi Icon video and no one clapped for me when I spoke about this card. And then like the literal next day, Miltai posted about it and said everyone went, "Oh, you're a genius." I'm like, wait a minute, I just did it. So what is the source? Is bro spying on me in my house? I have no clue. But you know who isn't spying on me in my house? Balif. Because all the Chronojet players, in inverted commas, have been telling me for the last 4 years that this is a must play. Now he is. Well, he's very simple, which is when he's discarded for the cost of Stride, if you do not have another card with the same name as Team Fighter Balif in your Vanguard circles, you can call him out. And if you do, you can have him get grade -2. Now, this is a huge implication because it mirrors the last wording of the Crest. The Crest used to say at the start of the battle phase, choose one of your grade 3s and it gets grade -2. And traditionally...
No, it comes in grade 0.
It comes in grade 0.
Yeah.
Fine. But, you know, the whole grade up trick is just to ensure that you can time leap infinitely. So it going grade -2 puts it as a grade 1. As a grade 1, it can jump into a grade 2.
Yeah,
and
using this again.
And that's pretty slick. So, yeah. Another thing you should know is that because it jumps in grade 2, you can go into any grade 2, including the Ace unit. Yay! Okay, so yeah, there was a guy who did that to me in the tournament. I know who you are.
But
last but not
generally,
least,
I would say because like what Ahmed is about to say, that his Vanguard Circle skill is the GB1 when this unit attacks. If your Vanguard is a Chrono icon, so it has to be a Chrono icon. He gets 10k.
Yeah.
So now it's basically the same. Yeah, it's GB1 now. So you no longer do you need to make sure that I actually cut face up in the G zone for him to get 10k.
I mean, this is a.
If you actually get this reference, I feel bad for how much time he spent on the internet. But basically, it's just a 23k attacker always, so it's pretty good. And his second ability mimics Vortex and Soul Saver, which is that when he is discarded, he can be discarded from hand.
Discarded?
He
can be called. He's a guardian, bro.
Yeah. So when your unit is attacked, if your Vanguard is Chrono icon, he becomes a 10k shield.
So now Balif has turned from the greatest, like, what's the Jujutsu Kaisen language? Where you say he's a fraud, he's a what? Like, he's actually pretty good now. He's not only a maple, it's a free great switch, 23k beater that actually doesn't brick you for once your damn life, and he's a shield.
Yeah, but unlike Nostalgia, he doesn't draw your card. So.
But no. You don't get a comparison to Nostalgia. Don't understand your rights here. So, again, Balif is someone you can now play confidently at minimum 2. I would say playing it at 4 is a mistake. But,
we'll see how it pans out. Alright, then now we go on to the grade 2s. Hopefully this shouldn't take very long. We play
the right deck.
Oh yeah, so we play 1 Smoke Gear in the right deck. We play 4 of the new Upstream, which is sort of looks more, even though he's not drawn by the original artist anymore, he looks more like the original art. I don't understand. Then we play 1 Collapsing Whole Dragon from DZ BT13 Paralytic Clash. Then we play 3 copies of Tisca. So Tisca, I think it's been 3 years at this point.
Tisca is just Gun Cycler. You can't Persona right in this deck.
You need to hit the energy curve, so that's why you just play Tisca.
Yeah.
If you have Lemina, just play Lemina. And trust me on this, you want to play Lemina instead of Tisca. But I'll just play Tisca because
you are
then we
poor.
play Collapsing Whole Dragon. So I know this is a silver rare, so it's a bit hard to read the text, but essentially, basically when he's placed, if you reveal a Gear Dragon from your right deck, or your Vanguard is a Gear Dragon, which basically all your strides. Gear Dragon.
Even Gear Dragons can have hair.
You Counterblast 1 and draw 1. And if your opponent is grade 3, if your Vanguard is grade 3, he gets +5.
Yep.
So he's basically the same as the Glimmer Breath from the Chronojet Dragon Crest version of Glimmer Breath, because now we don't get the Crest, so we can't play Glimmer Breath anymore. So that's why we can play Collapsing Whole. And
so much.
because now Chronojet has Bind Zone synergy, he actually can use Collapsing Whole's other effect, which is that when he's put into the Guardian Circle, you may Energy Blast 3 or Soul Blast a card with the same name as your Vanguard to choose a card from your Bind Zone and put it to the bottom.
Yes.
For each grade of the card put to the Bind Zone for this ability, he gets +5k shield. So if you put a grade 3, he becomes 20k shield. This is foreshadowing for later. So
foreshadowing for what there is.
Collapsing Whole is generally a very good one-off, especially because you need to hit the energy curve. So if you have 3 spare energy, it becomes 20k shield.
Yep.
And he also is a good attacker if you have really nothing else to do with him, and you can just bot deck him for cost later.
Fun. And then of course the right deck is okay.
Yeah. So Upstream is a downgrade and an upgrade from the original version at the same time, but generally I would say he is the linchpin of the new strategy they're trying to go with this deck, which is that when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Chrono icon is placed on Vanguard Circle, you may either Counter Blast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to call it from the drop zone if you do not have the same name as him on the Vanguard Circle.
There's a lot of maples that they're printing in Chronojet, huh? But this one actually you do want to play a 4 because he is like, D guy of D time, so yeah.
Yeah, so then when he attacks, his second skill, this is not GB1. So it's no longer locked to GB1 already. So you may he gains 5k, you may give him 5k. If you gave him the 5k, so unlike the one from the Stride Deckset, which he gains 5k always, but then you may do the bot deck effect. Now he worded exactly like the original Upstream is that if you gave him the power, then you must bot deck him and call a grade 1 to a back row Vanguard Circle. Or do you? Because he also has a stipulation that if your Vanguard is the rest, so everything that I've just mentioned needs you to just have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard
Chrono
icon, which all of your strides count. But if your Vanguard is specifically a grade 3 Chrono icon,
which is him,
and if this is the first battle of the turn, then instead of having to call the grade 1 to the back row, you may call it to the front row.
We have grade 3 multi-attack gaming in 2026 for Stride deck. I'm going to cry. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah. So upstream, obviously, for that alone, he is a 4-off.
He's $1 million, man.
No matter what,
$1
he is a
million,
4-off,
man.
Upstream is very, very strong. You definitely, if you're going to play Chrono Icon, you must play him.
At 4.
Yeah, but
it's not negotiable.
If you're feeling like, you know, you don't want to give up the upgrade because he can only call grade 1 Chrono Icon. He cannot call non-Chrono Icon.
And there's still a lot of Chrono Icon grade 1s in his deck.
Yeah, so there is merit to running the old upstream, but for now, I think just playing him as a 4-off, I think it's okay because unless you really miss Filia, then I feel bad for you.
If you miss Filia, you can play our castle. It's a great deck. I recommend it.
Yes.
So yeah, moving on to our grade 1s. Our grade 1s, we have to return off
Legendary
Dragon. So yeah, we just talked about him just now, so no real need to really talk about him.
Then we play 3 copies of the Chrono Icon the Chrono Icon Steam
Breath
Breath Dragon. Then we play 4 Perfect Guard, including the new Steam Maiden Alim from the Chrono Icon.
And 1 Sanctitude. So it has to be this Sanctitude, as you know. We're playing the rest of them is just Alim. You can play the old or new Alim. This deck doesn't have a specific icon structure.
Let us know in the comment section which Alim art do you prefer.
This one, she's so cute. You're a freaking heretic. This is the best. Look, she's even doing the peace sign. She's smiling. She's enjoying that. This is just standing there like.
She has so much aura, bro.
This is so much aura. She gets to pose in the middle of like getting shot by a bullet. How many of you get shot by bullets and still get to do like a peace sign?
Bro, she has so much aura just standing there, bro.
So do you just stand there and think you have aura? Are you just Piccolo?
Then play 1 copy of Gear Parrot. So
Gear Palato.
This is so we explained this in the previous Chronojet video, and also the synergy in Laser Gear as something that uses our energy is also gives us strong attackers. I think Gear Parrot is a must.
It's an eternity.
It's still
loop.
a must include.
It's an eternity loop, but I know what a lot of you be wondering. Why only 1? Right? Because last time we mentioned by having 2 or more, you could prevent deck out infinitely and just call a guy to put a guy, call a guy, put a guy, bone, do bone, bone, do bone. But the thing is that you now have a second way to put cards back in the deck. So like, it don't matter that you only have 1, and you will get 1. Like this guy is so easily searchable, right? At this point in time, like I don't think you're gonna really struggle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really struggling, then you just play the 5 regardless.
Yeah, just play 5 guys.
Yeah,
and you know what? That's also a great 3 regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of old cards, also we are playing 4 copies of Ocelot, and then we're playing 1 copy of Almis, which is reprinted in Legendary Vanguards.
Darkseid's Cat. Okay, Darkseid's Cat is just here for counter charge.
Yeah. And also because it's the same idea because your Laser Gear goes back to the right deck, your Chronojet is sitting on the Vanguard permanently, so you can only use 1 cat anyways. So
Ozempic Dren and Steam and Smoke Gear,
yeah.
offer your lives up for a free counter charge.
Almis, yeah, so Almis is obviously really strong 20k shield counter charger. I mean, we can't go wrong. Only problem now is that you can't tutor it out for upstream, so
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. You can still draw it. Then we have Fossil because
Fossil is just
like you
on
mentioned
place.
about Negro Bone, so yeah. So
Yeah, just EC1, and then at the end of battle she boosts. If you pay energy cost with any card in your deck, including energy generator, you can have her kill herself and draw 1. So it's just painkiller. Yeah, and this deck has a lot of energy cost, so like this is not a problem. Just treat this like Upside Goblin. You're just cutting the deck size down from 50 to 46. If you can't afford Fossil, it's fine. Just it's not as competitive, but I would say it's no problem. You can still fare without it, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
and of course because this is the Chrono Icon deck that uses upstream, we have to play a lot of Chrono Icon grade 1, which include 3 copies of Steam Breath and 3 copies of GG. So
yes.
GG, the new version of GG is very, very much going for the late game strategy rather than the early game like Crush Rush, plus 2 draw 1, use 4 revolties like shenanigans that you used to be able to do. And it's kind of sad that they basically lost the main thing that gave this deck the go first advantage, even though now this deck wants to go first even more.
No, but they gave you better go first advantage. Like,
I guess.
Would you want $1 or $2?
As a man, I want $2.
Alright.
Okay, so GG states that if on Record Circle, if your Vanguard is a Chrono Icon grade 3 or greater, she gets +5.
That's it.
Until end of turn. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So she's 30k attacker and booster, I think not bad. And
you know why, right? You know why.
Yeah. So and then the Record Circles, the other Record Circles is that at the end of the battle that she attacked or boosts, if you have conducted strike this turn, that means that you have stridden a G unit this turn.
It's strode, not stridden.
Strode a G unit this turn, you may put her into the soul to draw 1. So it is just Filia.
It's Filia, but now it's Zuitan. It's Zuitan or Filia.
Or if you play Corti Blaze, it's Tai Rong. Yeah,
It's Tai Rong.
Rong.
It's just Tai Rong.
Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations guys, we have reinvented the wheel.
Yeah. So then talking about other 13k grade ones, we also have the new and improved Steam Breath. So Steam Breath, was only ever in Chronojet for like
2 days.
it was like in for like
2 days.
like 3 months.
2 days.
So then
Felt like 2 days.
so he's obviously the Stride Folder, but now he's got a huge upgrade, which is that in your hand when he would be discarded for any ability, so any ability, not just Stride, he can count from any grade between 0 to 3. So keep in mind that this is not only for Stride cost now, he can be discarded any time during the turn as any of those grades. So it's welcome back Dreadful Ignis. Then his second ability is that, when he's placed with your Vanguard as a Chrono icon, you may do the following. So you may counterblast 1 and look at the top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to 1 grade 3, so any grade 3, and you really at your hand. And if you revealed none, then counter charge 1. So welcome back Burning Horn.
Burning Horn has never left us.
Then his second ability is that for that turn, the turn that he's placed, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, he gets +5.
Which, is quite a lot of turns. But you can still use him early gamer, but if you don't want to.
Yeah, because he's meant to be comboed with upstream. This is your main core target rather than GG, because on the first grade 3 turn you haven't Stridden, so GG can't put herself to draw 1, but he gives you the +1 no matter what.
Yeah. The thing is that he's taken on a whole new role, especially because, as you mentioned, he can be discarded for any grade, which you will see is very important. I would say he's a safe tree-off. I don't think you need a 4th just because of deck space and because he can't search himself, right? Just because he can be discarded for any cost doesn't mean he can be searched as a grade 3. But that, to be said, is fine.
Yes.
You can play this at 3. Honestly, I'm just happy that this version is actually a beat stick and a searcher. It's very similar to the old school days of G, where like you could call your Stride Folder to swing aggressively and search for your grade 3s, especially what they do in the G anime. Like, this is a good rendition of that. Like, we know how like the icon decks are very famous for redoing mechanics that no one really thinks about. Like, oh wow, Alfred and Soul Saver. Like, this was a mechanic I would have wanted to see, and I'm glad that they could keep it back. So good job, Mushiro. It proves you still have some sauce in you. So while I still have your attention, Isazao.
Alright, now we go on to the we can just finish the triggers quickly. So we have
Chronojet!
Ozempic
Dread!
I love Chronojet. Then we have 4 copies of Steam Maiden Uluru. I think if you're a Steam Maiden fan, I think you must have gotten like absolutely crazy about it. There is an SR of her. It's more it's more expensive than this guy, by the way. So I'm just saying that. So Uluru obviously a huge trigger, I think. So if you're a Gear Chronicle fan, I think it's an automatic like must play. Just play.
I disagree. I like the old Gear Chronicle-ish heal from like BTO1. I find her more hot, but that's because I don't really like Uluru.
Then you play Eidos Pharaoh, even though there actually are merits to play the Dark States over-trigger now, because this deck actually is very reliant on double 2 Vanguard attacks now. But Eidos Pharaoh you really cannot be gone wrong. He's literally the evergreen over-trigger. Like, you need to play him everything.
That's not true. You can't play him in Shiranui.
Then you can play 3 copies of Diablo's Girl Natalia, because this deck will deck out.
Yeah.
This deck will deck out, so you cannot play draw trigger.
I mean this has been a jet since like 2022. We've always said.
Yeah, then you play 8 crits.
Just play the icon crits.
Just play the icon crits. Because I think it's very very cool that they brought this back, even though they're not the crits that I remember. Like Mr. Hard Dumb Worker and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
All you nostalgia pieces of shit forget the original people being printed and your whitewash history of wow, the double rare is so fun, and you forget all the old school veterans who died for you. That's the thanks we get, huh? That's the thanks we get.
And now we go on to everyone's favorite part of a G deck, is
G-Zone.
So you obviously play 4 copies of the $90 staple, Chrono Dragon, Neku Stage. You play 4 copies. Okay. For the purposes of this video, we are only going to play 12 card G-Zone, because now we are going to a meta where every single G deck will have 12 cards in the G-Zone, so you can just prank people and tell them. Because Chronojet can actually play 16 cards in the G-Zone.
Yes.
I just want you to know that I'm just purposely not playing 16 cards, because
it's a dead giveaway.
Because only one deck can play 16, but every other deck cannot play 12.
So for the purposes of this video and to prank you into thinking we are playing Dragoon, we are playing 4 next stage, who is still a 4-off, right?
Yeah, they play 3 copies of the new Mystery Flare Dragon. 1
Fate Rider, and then 4 copies of Mr. Chronos Command Dragon.
Yeah, the $25 Fleet Folder.
Yes.
Yeah. So Command and Fate Rider I just want to let people know
are not Chrono icon
disclaimer
cards.
that when you strike them on top of the Grade 3 Chronojet, Chronojet,
They don't
you
pass
lose,
on the icon.
You lose the icon because your Vanguard no longer, because icon is a state that checks your current Vanguard whether it has the icon printed on him.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And
It
because
doesn't pass on icon.
even though your hard card passes on certain traits like your race,
Name, your race,
and your
grade,
power,
your gender, but like it don't,
But the icon state doesn't pass through because you're looking at a new Vanguard with new information. So you will lose. So any ability that needs you to have icon are
You
all
lose
lost.
it.
But obviously Fate Rider is a ridiculously good strike no matter what, essentially because he just counts number of cards in your G zone, doesn't care about anything. And
he's so good.
Command is a 1-card CB1, nuke the entire board.
So like as long as you find any like board heavy matchup like say Serif, like this is just CB1 good night. Like genuinely they just lose.
Yeah. So don't discount them, even though we are obviously playing them at a disadvantage because they lose the icon and we're only playing them as a 1-off and a 4-off respectively.
Well, the thing is that you can play Fate Rider as a one-off because it's a farm card, right? Fate Rider is famously one of the great farm cards of 2022 that has never gone bad. And Chrono's command needs to be at 4 for the different reason of you need to flip him. So, you don't really get a choice. But if you want to farm more and you're interested in scaring a few old school people, here is Chronojet Dragon. Next stage. And this guy is... when I found out he's the first strike, I almost dropped my plate to the floor. I almost cried.
So the
like,
new
the
new next stage actually does have the Chrono icon. So all the new strikes will have the Chrono icon. So you don't lose Chrono icon
just show the camera.
You don't lose icon striding into them because they have been printed with the Chrono icon. And next stage no longer has its restriction of needing to discard a Chronojet. To strike
no
him.
more ultimate strike.
Yeah. But he will require you to have Chronojet. Don't.
Yeah, he still needs the Chronojet in circulation.
When at the end of the battle, the next stage attacks, you come plus 1, discard 1, and you may choose a card with a Chrono icon with the same name as him. Welcome back,
G Persona Blast. You can't even play the original next stage. They don't even want you to save the extra 200 yen. They want you to buy a third and fourth copy of this guy.
You have to flip a identical copy of him in the G zone. It means that because you only have 4, you can maximum only play 4. You can only go into twice.
This is Cardfight Vanguard. You only get 4.
So then he returns back to the G zone and you stand your
Chronojet
Dragon with the Chrono icon as stand, and then he loses. This Chronojet loses 2 drives. So welcome back, Vanguard Dragons. I hope you love losing to Amon.
But you forgot the last part.
Yes, because next stage has one more ability, which is that you may choose a Chronojet from your drop zone or your hand and bind it to give your Chronojet, this Chronojet that you just stood, +1 drive. But if you have hit 3 cards or more face up in your G zone, that drive +1 changes to drive +2. So it's not that it's not that he gains 1 drive innately if you just did the cost.
No.
He will always have 0 drive. But it's just that by paying the cost, so long as you are GB3, instead of only gaining 1 drive, he gains 2 drive. So on first strike, he only will gain 1 drive. But every other strike after that, he will gain 2 drives.
Yeah. So that makes it really good. Also, I would just want to thank M Crafter for saying it, but I just need to also specify for the whole camera and audience, all of the icon strike state
that you can
only strike on top of a card with the Chrono icon. So you can't take these 2 and kidnap them and bring them back to your Crest Jet and tell them, guys, I got cool new strikes. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that, okay? So while we did lose the whole ultimate strike, persona strike mechanic, we did have a new lock which it requires you to strike on top of this guy. So again, I know there's a lot of ruling confusion when it comes to like Chronojet as a whole, but like the long and short of it is that you can strike any of the old strikes on top of Icon Jet. You just can't strike any of the new strikes on top of old Crest Jet. So just bear in mind, I know someone's gonna get it wrong, so I have to say it out for the camera just so we're all clear.
So the new next stage is generally one of the strongest selling points of the Icon Jet because it activates all of the new, because it synergizes perfectly, because it makes sense that they made it so that it synergizes perfectly with the new Chronojet effects, but also the fact that it's just very strong. Like go triple drive into twin drive is never been bad, especially when the cost is literally discard 1.
That's why I said like this was the original farm card and the next stage was the original kill gap card. And now they just swapped it where next stage is now not only the farm card, it's also the kill gap card. Like if you just check enough yellow colored triggers, you do just Chojigen Coco and just send the guy like 10,000 kilometers into the ground. Like he's just dead. Like there's nothing he can do. And you know, there's a reason why people hate Gear Chronicle. One of them.
Pick him up for 200 yen, guys.
200
and now we go to the elephant in the room, which is
Address me.
which is Destined One of Time, Leo Odium. No, just kidding. It's Mystery Flare Dragon. So Interdimensional Dragon, Mystery Flare Dragon.
So this
Welcome
is
back
the,
to V-Series.
This is the only Stride that's not a retrade. Hell,
Yeah.
this is the only icon card that's not a retrade. This is the
No, I mean there's another one. He's just not in this deck.
Ember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ember, as you said, you hate Vibatsuka, so he died for our sins. But you know who didn't die for our sins? This guy.
Mystery Flare. So Mystery Flare is the pseudo first strike of this deck. Even though next stage is also a new first strike, but he is generally so good as a first strike because he gives this deck a lot of tempo, especially against Yakuza, you know, Aichi Icon, you know, any other of those like M3 like broken ass like no R&D testing like ass decks like Hard Lulu, you know, Minerva, Kai Icon, anything that has come out in the last like 6 to 7 months is generally like Mystery Flare can definitely help it. So what Mystery Flare does is that his first ability is that as an act you may turn a card from your G zone face up. So any card, so it's usually is going to be Chrono's Command because he has a scaling effect, and you give yourself the ability. You give yourself 2 effects. So the first effect is that until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your front row gains plus 5k. And yes, I did do mean until the end of your opponent's next turn, which includes your opponent's next turn, which includes your opponent's entire battle phase, which means that your entire front row becomes extra 5k base, which includes your Vanguard. So your Vanguard's 18k base against your opponent's entire assault. So this definitely helps the deck tremendously because it is an inherently very slow deck because it's a strike deck. So making your Vanguard 18k base is very, very, very good in order to stall and then actually be able to get to the next stage. Then the second ability is only active if you have 5 or more cards face up in your G zone. So this is not GB5, this is 5 or more face up cards in your G zone, which requires you to go into Mystery Flare once and then go into the next stage one more time and then use Mystery Flare's ability to flip a card face up in your G zone, or you go into next stage twice and then you go into Mystery Flare and then you use Mystery Flare's ability to flip a card in your G zone face up. To have 5 or more cards in your G zone, at the end of the battle that this unit attacks, you may reveal to your opponent 4 different cards of different grades and discard them, and at the end of the current turn that you are committing, you get another turn, but that new turn has no right phase or strike phase.
And you can't strike.
Yeah, so you cannot strike, you cannot write into anything because the new Chronojet actually doesn't have a restriction that you can't write non-Chronojet anymore, but you cannot write and you cannot strike during the following turn. But you do get main phase. So unlike Odium, you do get a main phase.
Which is fun.
Yeah,
and considering the fact
yeah.
that you discarded 4 cards of different grades, I wonder if there's a way to enable cards of different grades.
Yeah.
So
Steam Breath is very important for that cost because he will count himself as any grade that you're missing. And Mystery Flare also has one safety net, which is that you give one of your on top of all this, you give one of your rear guards the ability is that when he sees Mystery Flare attack, he stands himself.
But that's just for that turn.
Yeah, it's just for turn, yes.
So like during the following turn, you don't get that skill anymore.
Yeah, no. But you're sitting on a grade 3 Chronojet.
Which is of course very funny because you can Michibi Semirai, Kirihira Kesekai, and you just, you know.
Yeah. And you can use so it means that you can use upstream during that extra turn to
and get the
lot of
additional attack because you are a grade 3 Chrono icon. This is so fun. This deck is so fun. Holy crap.
Yeah. So Mystery Flare is obviously a huge like ridiculous finisher card, but you will probably deck out after you use him. But if you can do 8 attacks against someone, like I don't need to tell you if you bought the Odium Master deck set that doing 8 attacks is probably going to kill the person. So.
Now, a lot of people say that Mystery Flare can also be the first strike. What do you think about that?
I think it's true. I mean, I did mention that it gives you a lot of tempo going first because it gives you a lot of tempo as a first strike because it gives you the 18k base. And that is really, really, really very strong, you know, to have that 18k base to not get blown up by Yakuza, Aichi-Con, Kai-Con, etc.
Okay, that's very interesting. So realistically, he doesn't need the G persona flip. It's only next stage that needs it.
Yes.
So there you go. That explains the ratio. Okay, let's wrap up the Chrono icon deck profile. It's been a very long video. I understand most of you do not have long attention spans. Neither do I. So let's wrap it up. Is this deck worth it?
I still think the deck is not very strong. Especially, it definitely does not feel as strong as even the version of the Crest Chronojet that we were using up till now, but it has a much longer runway than I think Chronojet Crest will ever have, even without the Crest scaling, because the card quality of cards are upstream, as well as both of the strides are already much higher than even Fate Rider and the original next stage.
Right, so
yeah,
I'm personally very happy with this deck. I don't think I have a single complaint about this deck. I think they managed to bake into the cake the whole right up beat strategy a lot better. It no longer feels like go first lose, which is most Stride Deckset's problems, right? Let's be honest. So I am very grateful that they managed to do all of that. I'm also pretty grateful that they brought back Mystery Flare, which I think a lot of people did want. If you're being honest, a lot of people did say they wanted that strike back, so I'm glad they got it. I think the really only thing is the price, because this guy not only needs every new card in this set, but he also requires you to pick up a few OG zone cards. So
you don't
need to, but like it does help. It does help. Right?
Yeah.
So like
generally,
it's not gonna cost too much, but it will make sure it will make sure it, like, for the power level you get, you are paying for it, I would say, appropriately. So
in terms of it, this is the best new deck from Legendary Vanguard.
yes,
Because the Mana Bhagavan is not a new deck.
yeah.
If the Mana Bhagavan was a new deck, then obviously both Uranus and Chronojet are out of the running completely, because Bhagavan is an actual tiered deck. The Jiva was already a tiered deck before Bhagavan upgrade, and then Bhagavan upgrade is only gonna bring it to actual like new heights.
New lows.
So
new lows.
the fact that if you're talking about new decks, which is just this and Uranus, then this definitely beats Uranus.
Yeah, this beats Uranus 100%.
But in terms of it being actually like meta tier deck, I think no. For now, no.
I still think it's a good.
But it has a good journey, it has a good foundation right now. It's just a bit disappointing that the foundation required them to basically take whatever was in the 2022 Stride Deckset and just make a new, give it one new like.
But I think as strange as it sounds, I think it's fair, right? Because they already reprinted their whole core to bits in DZBTO 6. I think we've had it for a while now that a redo of their whole Stride Deckset was going to come. Be it either an actual Stride Deckset 1-for-1 redo, or now they just made a whole icon deck, which I guess it's another way to do it. Yeah, but no matter how you feel about it, I still have a lot of fun. Like, I think a lot of people who hate this deck, the whole icon whitewash, I would say put down your forks and just try the deck. Genuinely, just try this deck. And if you hate it, then continue to hate. It's fine. But at least give this deck a fair shot.
You always have this option, so you always have Crest as an option. So it's not that the deck is replaced. It's just that
it's a new deck.
It's a new deck that will get its own set of support. And then I almost said timely, but the Chronojet Dragon Crest you still be able to use Dark Stage generics, because that deck is a very soul race reliant deck, so it will be able to make use of all the Dark Stage. And
also any of the Gear Dragon names.
Yes.
The Gear Dragon names will
so any Growing support that just needs you to have a Gear Dragon Vanguard will support both versions of Chronojet.
Which is good to know.
Yeah. So just the fact that this will take all the Gear Chronicle specific support from now on, and then the Crash Jet will probably just be reliant on like being fed mouth to mouth all the Dark Stage generics, which will cost you a complete bomb. So it's really up to you whether you want to go in one direction, you want to go in the other direction. It's up to you.
Or you could just buy both and play both, because you're a Mark Ishii fan, and Mark Ishii fans do not die. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
So, you want to explain to us why he looks angrier than the original?
Because it's not drawn by Akira Ito this time.
That's so sad. Rest in peace.